Hey, how's it going? Well, welcome. I don't know how you found my channel, but it really doesn't matter, okay? You're here. You're probably here for a reason. What is Zoo, guys? I'm Jackie Aina. Welcome back to my channel. Jagga, 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 jagga. Jagga, 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 jagga. Many of you guys that watch my videos religiously, faithfully. First of all, thank you so much. I know I can be a lot to handle, so the dedication is appreciated. Most of you guys know that I'm not really a fan of contouring my nose. It's just never really a thing that I got into. One, because I like the shape of my nose. I don't really care to change it or manipulate it. But two, I've always felt like that's just one extra step I don't have time for, girl. Like I'm already doing the whole, I'm already doing the whole routine. I just don't have time. I just can't be bothered with one extra step. I gotta go. The oven is on fire and my car's already running. I'm already late for work. Goodbye. But one thing that I've noticed about all of my favorite makeup artists, one thing that they have in common is there's always just the perfect amount of symmetry and sculptury and witchcraft. Everything always just looks so pulled together, like right around this area. I kind of felt like something in my makeup routine was missing. So I started switching things up and I started to imitate that style on myself, but without actually like compromising or changing the shape of my nose, because I really like the shape of my nose. And that's where the term non-touring came up. You guys have heard of non-touring before. That was like one of those things that they were like trying to make a thing all of 2017, probably 2016 as well, and it just never really happened for you, Allure magazine. Non-touring is actually supposed to be like the opposite of contouring, where you use like highlighters and stuff like strobing. But when you think about the definition of non-touring, it's like contouring without really not doing it. Even though today I'm not going to be showing you how to do the Webster definition way to non-tour, I'm just going to show you my version of how I like to shape my nose area, because I do feel like it is definitely quite different from other people's techniques, and it doesn't compromise the shape or the width of my nose. It's something that I do to kind of like complete my makeup look. It's like putting foundation on and not highlighting. It's just like you're just a flat, you're just a blob, okay? I'm gonna be using 3 different concealers. I use the Radiant Creamy Concealer from NARS, not only because it's a phenomenal freaking product, bro. Like if you don't know, now you know. But the wand is super slimming. It lets you really get in and around the nose. It's just super convenient. I'm also gonna use 2 different beauty blenders, one for cream products and the other for powder products, translucent powder that is. And then I'm gonna use a translucent powder. You don't have to use the one that I use. This is the one from Beauty Bakery. Their flower powder, great powder. 12 out of 10, would highly recommend, Susan. So let's bring you in a little closer into Jackie O's world so you can really get into this face and see what we're about to do. Before we get started though, go ahead and subscribe, tell your kids, tell your nieces and nephews, tell your aunties, tell your stingy uncles who don't like coming around during the holidays, but stay texting you, asking you for a ride to work. Tell him to subscribe too. And by the way, it doesn't hurt to get like a magnified mirror. It literally clocks everything. But then I also keep like a regular mirror on standby as well, so that I can see the close-up and then how it looks real time from far away. Both views and angles are very important. So the whole point of non-touring is contouring without really contouring. I don't know what else I was about to say. I just lost track of time. So basically we have the foundation already done. So you want to do this on top of foundation. Base is already laid and set, girl. Now, the traditional way of contouring is taking your dark color. Usually it's like a cream contour or a concealer, whatever, what have you. And you would go right in here, all the way down. You may even see someone draw a dip line here. My technique is a little different, however, so you may be a little shook. Bear with me, we will get through this together, okay? I also forgot to tell you that I do use a Sigma E50 brush. Very important in this step. It's one of my favorite brushes to really get in that area and buff things out real soft. Okay, so taking dark coffee and the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, whatever works as your contour color, feel free to use that. I just like the shape of these wands because they're super small, very slim, and as you can see, they let you get right into those corners. Starting literally at the brow, I'm just gonna draw some dots and stop right where my eye tear duct ends. I feel like adding shading right in this inner eye area, it's almost like not really contouring because it's more along your eyes. There's just something about this that I feel really kind of pulls the whole look together. I'm gonna take that E50 brush and by patting it, I'm buffing it out and softening it and pulling it into the inner eye. Now, this may look really dark and intimidating, but as you all know, makeup is a process. Sometimes that process is a lot of steps for us to get to the final result. So I'm blending that into the inner corner of my eye. And what you're left with, looking dead on center, is this situation. So already you can see what's about to pop off. This is when you start rolling your sleeves up, okay? I really kind of feel like it's the highlighting of this technique that really makes the contour stand out more than it does this part. So I'm gonna take Walnut from Radiant Creamy Concealer. This is a really yellow color, but I use this underneath amande, so bear with me. I'm now taking amande and literally right in my inner tear duct, drawing all the way down to the corner of my nose. You see what I just did there? It's about to pop off. Follow along, because don't even blink, you might miss it, okay? Going on the other side, the inner tear duct, going straight down. Then, because I like to highlight the center of my nosy, I'm gonna go right up and down into my forehead, AKA the 5 head. All that empty space, we're filling it in with concealer now, my highlighting concealer. And then I'm gonna continue highlighting with amande. Notice how there's no dark line here. We've only highlighted here, okay? We're playing with the high points of the face to look like we contoured when you thought. Now, while we're here, I am gonna contour my 5s. I don't even call it 5 head anymore. I'm just gonna start calling them 5. I actually like to blend down my forehead with my foundation brush. I feel like it just looks more, not natural, but I don't know where I'm going with that. I just want y'all to know I brought out the big lens for this demo because I wanted y'all to know this is not a game. You can check for lines of demarcations if you want to, but they're not there, all right? It's not a game. We take contouring very serious in 2018, okay? I'm still using my foundation brush to blend out the line right on the center of my nose. By the way, let your concealer sit for a little bit. If you've never heard me talk about that, I will excuse it this time. You're probably a little bit new. You may or may not be familiar with my videos, but I like to let the concealer sit because, one, you get more coverage. It allows it to thicken a little bit so it doesn't budge as much when you go in with your damp sponge. I'm gonna start on the outermost corner of the concealer and start dabbingtons, working my way inward. And as I move inward, I'm gonna start covering that dark area with the concealer. Just a little bit though, just a little bit, just to soften it up. So do you see what I just did? Just barely tap over it. Don't forget about the inner corner of the nose, because I'm so used to like moving around the nose that sometimes I forget. Now look how I softened this up, this side versus this side. If you want the contour to look this extreme, by all means, I'm not judging. I still never added any dark color or contouring or shading around here, so you know what time it is, right? Now doing the same thing on this side, working from outer to inner corner, and then going over, just barely over that brown. And I am a fan and an advocate and a lover of putting the concealer on my eyelids, so I pretty much kind of move in a circle. Now, if need be, you can go back in with your shading brush and you can add a little bit more if you want. It's totally up to you. Tomato, tomato. I don't judge. You know, it's not what I'm here for. I'm just gonna move back now just so you can see how subtle this overall look is. And we haven't even added powder yet. I feel proud. Now taking my flower powder. I like this one because it actually does highlight and kind of like, you know, add that brightness to the center of my face that I yearn and strive for. I'm just gonna tap my sponge in there one time, dab off the excess, and then even do it again on the back of my hand. Starting at the inner corner, I'm gonna press that in and move down the nose. Literally as if we were drawing around where we would have contoured. There's definitely different sponges you can use for this step. The Veramona sponge is actually really great for baking, and especially because it's got angles, so it probably would be a little bit easier if you struggle with the Beauty Blender. Now, when it comes to baking, try not to go back and like keep adding powder and keep adding powder and keep adding powder. One, it's gonna be harder to remove later. I've been guilty of this a couple times. Two, you just don't wanna over powder, especially if you have, no matter what your skin type is like, especially, you don't wanna dry your skin out. You wanna give her a break. Be good to her. She's been good to you. I also highlight in the center of my forehead, and I can take the same step And I will also take that powder going down the middle of my nose, keeps the shine out the way. If you have oily combination skin like I do, then you probably know the center of the face usually tends to be the area where things clock out early the fastest. You know, they don't even tell you they leave, and they just clock out. They don't give you a warning. And the powder helps seal that in and prevents that from happening. It stay home. Like, I didn't even apply it all that perfect. I just moved around my nose. I literally just brought it in closer to my nose. Make sure that when you do your brows, it literally follows the trail of where you contoured. So I can still see the line. It's actually a little unblended. Or you know what? It might be the powder giving me the illusion that it's not blended. My bad, I'm Gucci. Make sure wherever you start your brows literally follows that line. Like, the contour literally goes into my eyebrows, and that's also where I'm gonna start my brows. I'm just hoping that you're really able to see, literally the brow is pouring. It's literally pouring into the contour. This looks freaking bomb in pictures. Like, you have no idea, especially close-up selfies. Okay, I'm just saying. Eyebrows scream. I get pap smears regularly, and I check for breast cancer awareness screenings regularly and routinely. That's what this is giving me right now. This next step is also going to be pretty important because you don't want to disturb this whole eye area. You want to work with it, okay? You want it to be cohesive. You want to follow along with it. So usually what I do is, this isn't concealer. It's a eye primer that looks like concealer. So just pointing that out. And in addition to applying this on my lid, I also follow the natural shape of my eye, and I fill in by moving around the contour. So I'm not going to blend that too far into the eye. Literally, when you look straight ahead and push your brush into your eye socket, that is where you want to apply your eyelid primer. Move around that dark area, but blend into it. We want them to work together. Regardless of whether you use a brush or a finger, it's just really about following the natural contours of the eyes and not going too far in to literally cover up all the hard work you just did. Now, once the eyes are ready, or even if you don't do eyeshadow, once you're just ready to get rid of all the excess powder, this is the F35 diffuser from Sigma. So you're gonna dust off that excess powder around that eye and nose area. Now, what you can do to kind of reinforce this, if you feel like you got lost in all the powder and the concealer and everything else, is take your bronzer. I'm gonna be using this one from Bobbi Brown, and the same brush that I was using earlier, dip it in there a couple times, dab off the excess color, and then stamp right over it. Now notice how I'm using my bronzer and not my contour powder, because remember, bronzers add warmth, whereas contours add shadow. So if you're trying to slim something, you're gonna add a shadow, right? But if you're not really trying to give the illusion of a slimmer nose and you just want to add the symmetry back to the face, just do a little bit of your bronzer. Now, you can't take the super shimmery ones, all right? That might be a given, but then again, I don't know. You never know. As you can see, this bronzer has no shimmer in it whatsoever. And that's why this works. So there you have a perfectly non-toured nose, darlings, that still spreads when I smile and doesn't really compromise the overall look and shape of my nose. Don't get me wrong, not that there's anything wrong with shaping or contouring your nose. It's just personally not really something that I like doing. Not really a fan of it. This I can rock with. It still looks like me, it still feels like me, and I get the perfect overall desired makeup look that I need for a red carpet. You know, maybe I'm going out to events where I know I'm going to be photographed and I just need that extra oomph, that extra. This is how I do it. Now, one last special way we got to end off the contour, and this is not really a must, this is just a little special treat. Take a little bit of your highlight right in the center of that bridge. What is this called? I don't know. Please don't get carried away with this. I've seen how it looks like when you get carried away with this step in person. It's not a good look, okay? I still like my on-camera makeup to be wearable, so I don't go ham on this, but I think it just adds the prettiest little extra step. You can also take it down the bridge of your nose. It really is up to you. Once everything is done from far away, you get a nose that is gonna photograph beautifully, but not really compromise the overall look and shape. It's just gonna look so natural. And this isn't something that you have to do every single time you touch your face with makeup, because I sure as hell don't. It's just that little extra that you can do for your makeup when you really need to like step it up and elevate it from your everyday look. I really hope that you guys learned something new, and maybe you'll try this technique out in your future makeup routine. I know it was probably a lot to take in, but that's probably because it's a little different from what you're used to seeing. Honestly, when done in real time, it's super quick, it's very easy, and I think a lot more minimalistic. Remember, this is just a personal preference. It's not to knock anybody that does the full on. It's not that deep. This is just what I like. And we're family now because I let y'all in on a little secret that I've been hiding. It's not really a secret, but yeah, it's something that's been in my back pocket for a while now. I hope to see you guys on the next video, which I'm gonna conveniently place right here. Okay, don't be shy. We like you around here. Just click away. You know, that's what the video is here for. All right, don't be stingy with the likes or the comments either. And don't forget to subscribe. Don't you forget to subscribe. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.